Hello, everyone, and welcome to CosmoQuest After Hours. And if you're saying to yourself, it's only 2 p.m., 1 p.m., 11 a.m., 10 a.m., you are in North America, my friends. The world is round and it is after 5 p.m. in Europe. And so we're
You,
celebrating them.
Pamela,
Yeah?
Pamela, you have me and Jenny mixed up.
Oh, shoot.
Uh,
I was so
It's
proud of
okay.
myself for having everything set up on time. So very proud of myself. I
It
failed.
happens.
I completely
no, it's okay.
failed.
Hey, we're not muted.
It's true. We have audio. Welcome to the first time we've managed to get all of us on at the same time. Um, we are very pleased to be able to join you. Apparently, though, I forgot what order people would be on my screen. But this is a solvable problem. All right. And this will be fun to watch. Zoom! The names have reversed. All right.
Yay. There we go. Easy to fix.
Thank you, Wags. Hello, Stephen. Hello, Wags. Hello, Celia. If I mispronounce your names, I'm very, very sorry. Yeah,
It's a thing.
it's a thing. So, Astronomy Cast After Hours is our opportunity to bring you content on a Friday afternoon that hopefully brings you joy as we all go into the weekend. The topic this week is let's see some of the science behind the fiction. And Jenny Larson, our guest today, is going to be talking to us about what's the worst that could happen. And this is a presentation that you put together for PAX?
For FanX in Salt
FanX.
Lake.
Sorry, I
Mhm.
swapped. So
Okay.
can you tell everyone a little bit about yourself, your research, and what allowed you, one of my fellow research scientist colleagues at the Planetary Science Institute, to take science into the con environment?
Yeah, so I am a massive nerd in general. You can probably see I do have a Captain Marvel chair. I go by actually Dr. Marvel on Instagram. Um, who am I? Why am I actually Dr. Marvel? I say this partially because I am a cosplayer and I do cosplay Captain Marvel a lot. You can see I kind of do look like Brie Larson. It's a weird coincidence that we have the same last name. Um, no relation, although it would be awesome if there was. Um, but I do study disasters, like a lot of disasters. I've worked on like looking at earthquakes in Indiana and the New Madrid Fault Zone. I worked on like looking at Tornado Alley for a while and like helping prove that like it shifted more southeast than where it was. It's now called Dixie Alley. I didn't name that. I wouldn't have called it Dixie Alley personally. I don't know what I would have called it, but not
Let's
Dixie
call it
Alley.
Tornado Alley.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Keep
Tornado Alley too.
Yeah.
the tornadoing.
Yeah, exactly. The tornadoing. Um, to Tornado 2 Alley if we're going the Fast and
There we go.
Furious route.
Yeah.
Um, I'm currently working on asteroid impacts and looking at debris, simulating debris around asteroids and like binary asteroid systems anytime there's an impact. I helped work on the DART mission, which is the double asteroid redirection test. That was fun. Did
Cool.
some like preliminary modeling for that. I do have an asteroid named after me. Um, it's a K type.
So I'm going to jump in. There was a point in 2009 where I got a message that was sad on so many different levels. The most sad level of it was another podcaster had passed away. The um, less sad but more haunting over time was it was another podcaster who was also an amateur astronomer who had just managed to get asteroids named after Phil Plait and Fraser Cain, two of my colleagues. And he wanted to name one after me as well, but Gay got rejected as an asteroid name. And there's already an asteroid Pamela, and he didn't try Star Strider
Oh.
and he died. And so that was 2009, and I've watched over the years as all my colleagues have gotten asteroids named after them. And so I'm just sort of like, ugh, I was
I'll work on it for you.
this close. So yeah, yeah, it's things that come up. Yeah, I who knows? Maybe gay asteroids are now allowed. I don't know.
Hard to tell.
It's hard to tell.
Yeah.
So, anyways, you are someone who studies disasters.
Yeah, I love disasters. All kinds of disasters. Um, to clarify, I don't love that they like murder a bunch of people usually. I love being able to like study them and figure out what causes them and like how we can actually keep people safe. I always have to clarify that because people are like, wow, you love disasters? Like, don't those harm a bunch of people? Yes. I like the part where we get to save a bunch of people.
So I will point out you live in a geologically currently fairly boring part of the country, and I live in the part of the country you study for your disaster research, and this is making me feel a wee bit uncomfortable right now. I do live in the New Madrid fault zone, and Tornado Alley too. Yeah, yeah, these are
Beautiful.
things. So you got to go to not PAX. You got to go to FanX,
Fan X.
um, and give a talk and take in the glory and use the con experience to spread the goodness that is science to a whole bunch of fiction lovers. Can you tell us how you manifested this amazing experience?
So I actually, I genuinely was just like, I go to FanX every year.
Yeah.
I love going to FanX. They usually have a bunch of panels on such a wide variety of topics. Some of them like get really deep in looking into like analyzing women in the Batman comic series specifically and how they've changed over
Mm.
time. Um, and like how that connects with our society today. And so I thought FanX is a perfect spot to talk about something that's real, but also fiction. Um, and so I proposed this panel of like, well, I love natural disaster movies. I have seen an ungodly number of natural disaster
Yes,
films.
we need to talk.
I also, due to procrastination, had this massive list of films that I wanted to watch before the con and waited to the week before to watch them and ended up watching two or three of them a day, which I do not recommend. My husband watched one of them with me and was like, that was just depressing on its own. How are you doing this every day? And I'm like, lots of snacks, hydration, and walking the dog after each movie. Like, gotta check in with reality. But it is one of those things where like I love watching these movies, um, and figured people watch these movies, they probably want to know what's actually real here. Um, and FanX is the perfect venue for that because it does have a lot of panels that blend fact and fiction. Um, yeah, so came through with that.
So you mentioned that you're a cosplayer. Did you cosplay for your
Yes.
panel?
I did. I have so I have a Sailor Moon Captain Marvel that it I would have done my regular Captain Marvel, but being several months pregnant, it didn't fit
Yeah.
anymore. So we went with the spandex version, which is the Sailor Moon option. Um, yeah, it's cute.
I love that.
I am sad you did not include a picture in your slides.
I know I should have.
It
I have it on my Instagram though, but
That's
yeah,
okay.
I didn't put one in here.
So, of the disaster movies that you watched, can you give us the highlight reel of the good, the bad, the oh my god, that's so wrong, it's not even science anymore?
Um, yeah. So my biggest my biggest complaint is hurricane movies.
Really?
Hurricane
I would
movies.
not have expected
Why
that.
do they all involve a heist?
Really?
For some reason, like I lived in Florida for 6 or 7 years. I've been through several major hurricanes. I drove directly into Hurricane Irma, which I don't recommend doing. It's don't do it. Um, Not once did I ever think that I should rob a US Treasury or a bank.
I'd never realized that, but you're right. They usually
I
do involve a
do.
heist, and it's just, and it's also, I'm like, I would rather see, especially if like you're doing a hurricane movie in Miami, like
Mhm.
I want to see all the weird exotic animals running around because Miami's like a huge hub for trafficking exotic pets like tigers
Yes.
and pythons and stuff. And so every time there's a hurricane, there's like a massive outbreak.
Yeah. Yeah. And like there's enough wild stuff that happens in Florida in general that you could make a movie about just like an average day in Florida and it would already be a fantastic movie. There's no need to have a hurricane and suddenly have people looting businesses. I've never seen that happen. Like, I have seen people fighting over toilet paper in the grocery store and bottles of
Mhm.
water. I have been to hurricane parties. They are weird. I don't recommend them either. Like, just get a good book if there's a hurricane, sit down, or you know what? Leave. You can just drive away from a hurricane. Like,
True. They approach the coast at what, like 15 miles per hour usually?
yeah, and that's a fast one.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I was in Miami like as Irma was like rolling in, like, and it was like several days away from making landfall, but you could literally like see it out
Mhm.
on the horizon, and it was really cool. And of course, I'd never experienced that because I don't live on the coast, and or I didn't live on the coast then, but I was just, I'm like, why is everyone being so casual about this? They're like, oh, we've got a few days. It's all good.
I
Yeah.
have to mention, so Misadventures in Astra just said in the chat, sounds like Dr. Larson isn't adventurous enough if she hasn't planned a heist during a hurricane.
I have gone swimming about like between the second and third bands hitting of Irma. I went swimming in the Atlantic. It was very
Like,
hot. Again, don't recommend it.
if you could do a hurricane heist, what would you heist?
Oh, that's a fantastic question. Uh, uh, Definitely not a treasury because like in the movies, they almost always go for a US Treasury. Those are some of the safest places to be during a hurricane. The security there and like the infrastructure is phenomenal on those buildings. Don't do it. Um, Honestly, I think the most fun heist would be, and this is a weird one. It's a weird obsession I have, sneaking into my friends' houses and like mixing up their Lego sets.
Oh, that's so mean. So mean.
I know.
So I have to admit, I have this desire, and I'm really hoping that Ms. Britkett and Annie never watched this video, to go on one of the buy lots of plastic stuff cheap websites and get like a package of 1,000 plastic like Totoros or just something like that, where the first 5 you find are funny, and then after that you're like, why the and they just keep finding them for years. And so
Yep.
this is one of those things where at some point when they're not home for a couple of days, I'm going to fill their houses with small plastic items. That's who I am
And
as
a
a person.
hurricane is a perfect time to do that. Tell your friends to evacuate, and you've bought yourself a couple days.
I love how you think. I love how you think.
It's the little things in life.
All right. So there was this clear issue with movies having far too many heists, but then there's the question of the science. Did any of the science ever come out correct?
Honestly, not really. They always depicted like this 100-foot surge wave coming inland several hundred miles. Typically, your surge from a hurricane is not going to go up that high. You're going to have maybe 25, 30 feet of surge max for a Cat 5 hurricane, which is bad. It is like a second story house level.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be around for it. But it's just going to be on the coastlines. Being in Orlando where I was, I never faced a massive surge or a massive wave coming.
You're
It was a lot of rain.
Land.
Yeah, it's a lot of rain. Also, the winds that you face during a hurricane are incredibly strong. Like when I was driving into Irma, again, not recommended. I was in my cute little CUV, or SUV. Sorry, my brain just is not working. My SUV, and it was hard to control. It was definitely like shaking back and forth, but thankfully no one else was on the road going that direction. So made for an easy drive. But then you get these semi trucks driving in the movies into like 200-mile-an-hour wind gusts, and they're not flipping over.
And that is like what people want a Cat 6 to be.
Yes.
Like those don't generally happen a lot.
No.
They're starting to,
No.
but not when these movies were made.
Exactly. And it's a semi truck is not gonna survive that in any way.
No.
Yeah.
So that's hurricanes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, living in the Midwest in Tornado Alley, I have never seen a cow go flying. Have you researched the truth of the flying cow and tornado myth?
Yes, and that is why I actually stand by the fact that Sharknado is not a bad film.
And
Sorry.
yes, I need to hear all of your thoughts on Sharknado.
Yeah, and this is even at FanX. I actually met a woman who studies sharks, and she was like, "Thank you for saying this. They actually got a lot of the shark science right too." And so it was good to have both the weather side and the shark side confirmed.
I had no idea.
The graphics and the writing of Sharknado are terrible.
Mm-hmm.
It is very evident it is a terrible film, but
it's so much fun.
Actually did a fair amount of research into the science of fish falling from the sky. There are multiple cases that have been recorded of fish rain where fish get picked up by a water spout or a tornado and then they get dropped on land. And the writers said, what would happen if instead of just a regular school of fish, it was sharks? So it is technically plausible. There have also been accounts of entire herds of cows being picked up by tornadoes, dragged for a couple hundred miles, put down in someone else's field, and they were actually fine. Like they were definitely bruised and scraped, but they were alive and they were just grazing in this field. So it is possible. Granted, sharks would most likely die in a tornado just due to like the lack of being in water. Like there isn't a ton of water in a tornado. Um, that would be what kills the sharks and the impact of them hitting the ground.
Oh
I
no.
genuinely don't know how the cows did it, but they were fine. So
Cows are
I stand
robust.
by it.
Horses are not robust. Cows are
Just
robust.
Cows are
yeah.
robust. Yeah, growing up, I grew up in Wisconsin. I
Yeah.
have seen a lot of cows. You can, like, tipping a cow is not actually possible.
No, they're always like the first time I saw one in person, I was like, that was a lot bigger than I was imagining. They're huge.
Yes. Yes. They're kind of terrifying. Um, but
I do recommend
yeah.
everyone at one point in their life go to one of the big Midwestern state fairs and view show cows, because show
Yes.
cows are cows that have been nurtured and floofed and groomed, often by a teenager trying to get a scholarship. And there is nothing like walking through the barn and seeing kids hair drying and teasing the fur of their cows.
Mhm.
It's a required experience, but I have now
No,
It
sidetracked the
is.
conversation.
I love it.
So,
Yes,
so,
highly recommended.
so Sharknado actually, Vanilla Sky is another movie that has, I don't remember if it was frogs or fish that fell out of the sky that got picked up in a storm. Um, I had no idea that entire herds of cows could be moved. I now have to rethink my philosophy on tornadoes. Driving through them now has a very different connotation than it used to have.
I
Yeah.
also I have a
Yeah.
question.
Yeah.
Have you seen have you seen the Beanado episodes of 911?
No, but
Oh
I need
no.
to.
You do. You do. They
Okay.
like
Yeah.
the people making that show love disasters. They love doing homage to disaster movies. So
Yes.
like they have like a three-parter that's like a tsunami, and then they have the Beanado.
What? Okay,
Yeah, they're doing
describe the
impacts now.
Beanado.
I I mean, I already know the science is bad because like um like a truck overturns that's carrying bees, right? And someone's like, "Oh no, it has 2 million killer bees." I'm like, "No, it doesn't. They would be honeybees for pollinating, but
Yeah.
whatever." And as like a tornado is coming through or like some type of weather pattern or whatever, and it like sucks all the bees up and creates like this huge storm, tornado, and like takes out the engine on a plane, and then there's like one of the characters has to land the plane on the freeway in LA. It's just ridiculous. And it's amazing, and you do get to hear a character say it's a tornado.
So Jenny, you
It's
mentioned
crazy.
this season of 911.
Mhm.
Are where are you? Have you? I'm assuming you've seen the trailer. Have you seen the first episode?
I have not seen the first episode.
I watched it last night.
I typically don't watch that show. Um, and like for this study in particular on natural disasters, I specifically said films because there are so
Yeah.
many shows that I'm like, this could go on forever. But yeah, it's supposedly on Impact, and I'm a little skeptical
So
because that's like my baby.
Yeah.
the trailer is spectacular, and the foreshadowing in the first episode makes it appear that like the start of a Kessler syndrome is underway. Allie and I are going to stay on for a second hour of CosmoQuest After Hours
To
and
discuss that.
discuss 911 and
Yeah,
the
I'm kind
science so
of
far.
I'm a big um, fan. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like the show is very rocky quality wise, but it's fun. And it's just goofy. It's silly, network primetime TV. Uh, and I really like one of the things I love about it is that the people writing and producing it clearly have like a deep love of disaster
Yeah.
movies and love like paying tribute to them.
Yeah.
But it's funny, like the spin-off series or one of the spin-offs already did an asteroid impact episode. So, but it was, of course, in 911 fashion, it was like the asteroid impacted a nuclear power plant.
Yeah.
Sigh.
Yeah, yeah, I know. Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
so we're going to go to an audience question based on that face. We're
Uh-huh.
changing topics.
Mhm.
So Wags Project asks, so with tornadoes, is there any science behind the whole let us fly up tiny trackers to model a tornado, like they do in Twister?
Yeah, so Twister is actually pretty good with their science. You can actually kind of throw a bunch of little trackers up into a tornado to model it. That's actually a really sound idea. Um, one of like the the biggest issues that I have with tornado movies is their method for chasing tornadoes. Twister itself, the first one, does a fairly decent job of kind of describing where you need to stay,
Mm-hmm.
which is typically southwest of a tornado. Chasing tornadoes is not that hard technically. You pretty much just say stay southwest of it. If you end up in hail, just drive west because it means that the tornado is coming towards you. Um,
If it's coming towards you, don't you want to like cut south or north because west would be straight into it?
Not always.
Okay.
So, west, if you cut south, so tornadoes usually go from the southwest to the northeast. Um, Depending on kind of the pattern that it takes, because it can kind of take like a swerving pattern. For the most part, it'll take a fairly straight path unless it's a kind of a weird one.
Okay.
Um, Cutting west is not going directly into it. You do kind of
Okay.
cut across a little bit of the storm, um, but you won't be driving directly into the intake of the storm.
Oh,
Where
jeez.
if you go south, you're going directly
Into the
into winds,
inflow.
into the inflow.
Okay.
Um, and you end up battling those winds, and that's not ideal.
Okay.
Um, if you want to put a bunch of trackers into the storm, driving on the southeast side of the storm where that inflow is recommended. You don't need to go into the actual path of the tornado itself because that's not where the intake is. The intake is actually
Okay.
in the southeast of the tornado.
I had no idea.
Um, yeah, it's fun stuff. And so like, a lot of these movies where they're trying to put trackers in, they drive right in front of the tornado.
Yeah.
They drop the trackers and then they try to run away from it.
Yeah.
Um, that's actually really unnecessary. You can literally just drive south of the tornado through the inflow. You do have to battle the inflow winds, which is not fun. Um, but those winds will pick up any trackers that you're carrying and put them into the tornado itself.
That
That, yeah.
that is
So
awesome.
Twister did a great job. Twisters, the second one, did not.
Oh no.
It I just have to read this quote from Twisters because I had to scream at my TV a little bit. We don't understand how a tornado forms.
Uh,
It's a mix of what we know and everything we can't understand. It's part science, part religion.
Tornadoes are like one of the few things we actually have a fairly good grasp on.
Yeah, we actually know perfectly how tornadoes form. Um, we have really great warning systems.
Hmm.
a lot of the warning systems can actually warn up to like 30 to 40 minutes in advance before a tornado hits.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why they don't do that is because people are kind of dumb. Um, People will go down into their basement, spend about 10-15 minutes there, and then leave. At which point, if they're warned 30 minutes in advance, the tornado's still coming.
Yeah.
So they found that 16 minutes is the perfect amount of time before a tornado hits to actually put out a warning.
Oh, that's wild.
And it gives people enough time to receive the warning, get to a safe place, and then they will actually stay there the entire time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh
So,
man. It's
yeah.
it's also wild how climate change is changing tornado patterns.
Mhm.
Where we live just east of the Mississippi River, it used to be the storms hit the river, fell apart, and there'd be some storms north or south of us, but we are getting more and more storms that are able to cross the river and hit places that just don't historically have a history of tornadoes. And um, I, I I've seen them correctly predicted over and over and over. It's just sad that they're getting more tenacious in their river crossing ways.
Yes. Yes, yeah. It is. Most storms from climate change are getting just stronger in general. Um,
But that's a
there's,
different, more
yeah,
depressing topic.
Yeah.
What other
yeah.
disasters can you bring us to dream about?
Um, Probably one of my favorites. So I'm also an architecture nerd.
Uh-huh.
Um, I love earthquakes, mostly because of the architecture that's involved. Um,
Perfect.
and this is one of the weird things. Like I don't live in a huge earthquake zone. I actually live in a really boring part of the US. We have great mountains, but
They formed
almost
long
nothing
ago.
happens. Yeah, they formed long ago, and occasionally we get a landslide. It's whatever. Um, but one of the biggest things with earthquakes that I see in movies, so many movies are based on destroying California and LA specifically. And I get it, the San Andreas fault line is there. We're gearing up for a bigger like earthquake, but California has really good infrastructure. They experience so many earthquakes that they actually build their buildings to a certain code
Yeah.
that they're flexible.
Yeah.
Um, if you look at like the 2019 earthquake in Southern California, a lot like that was almost a 7.0
Yeah.
earthquake. Stuff fell off the shelves in grocery stores.
And
That
that's
was
sad.
about it.
Yeah.
The same magnitude of earthquake in 2010 in Haiti leveled cities. And that was because they didn't have the infrastructure that California has.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have the same type of buildings. Most of their buildings are built from concrete, which is really inflexible. So when the earth starts shaking, it just crumbles. Um, Taiwan, phenomenal infrastructure. I love Taipei 101. It is such a cool building. It is built to flex during an earthquake,
Mm-hmm.
and they built a basically a giant steel ball at the top that acts as a pendulum to counteract and dampen some of the flexing and moving of the building. So it has survived for so long in such an earthquake prone area because this dampener is essentially able to dampen about 40% of the movement during the earthquake. Um,
It's so cool. I know that they have similar counterweights in buildings that have to deal with a lot of wind,
mhm,
and it's just really cool. Technology feels like the wrong word to use for a pendulum, but
mhm.
it's such a cool
Yeah,
damper.
it is technology.
Yeah,
Like
Yeah.
it's just not electronics.
we like it's interesting that it's like we live in a time where like because of all these electronics and gadgets and whatnot, we don't think of things like pendulums as technology, but they are,
Mhm.
So it's definitely technology. And
Yeah.
I
It's
think there's something
amazing.
very elegant about like using something that is relatively simple to
Yeah.
like keep a building, you know, safe from an earthquake. And it's
Mhm.
just, I don't know, it's like a beautiful application of physics.
Yeah.
It is.
I was actually in California for that. It was a pair of earthquakes. There was 6.4 on 4th of July, and then the next day there was that. I don't know if it was 6.9, 7.1. It was somewhere around there.
Mhm.
I thought it was over 7, but these things get revised. Um,
Mhm.
I was actually at Universal Studios when it hit, and I was on the Mummy ride that just shakes the tar out of you. And they stopped the ride because they have automatic lockdowns of all of the rides when earthquakes hit. And then they restarted the ride, and we didn't feel the earthquake at all. Nothing was affected. And we only knew there was an earthquake because our phones were going nuts, letting us
Mhm.
see everything on Twitter. And the one the prior day, the 6.4, was a really long duration earthquake from anything I've ever experienced. And we're just sitting there going, is this an earthquake? Yes, this is an earthquake. We're having an earthquake. And there was no concern other than I shall tweet that we are having an earthquake. That's what modern technology allows. But then we look at the Haiti example. There is a I think it was a 7.4 in the Philippines yesterday
Mhm.
that caused them to distill their highest level of disaster aid. Um, Having those architectural requirements saves nations, and places like Turkey that have thousand-year-old stone buildings. 1,000 years ago, we didn't have any requirements.
Yeah. And that's one thing that looking at the Pacific Northwest now,
Yeah.
there's starting to be more and more earthquakes in that area. Some of the cities there have some tsunami precautions,
Mhm.
but they really don't have earthquake precautions because there aren't that many earthquakes in the Pacific
Mhm.
Northwest. But we've seen, even within the last year or two, the Cascadia fault line
Mm,
shifting again.
yeah.
And it's time
Right.
for like all of Vancouver and Seattle to break off. These cities are at sea level. They don't have the infrastructure to withstand earthquakes because they don't have them that often. And so that's one area that really needs to be examined right now is okay, we're seeing an increase of earthquakes. We've noticed that there is an additional fault line right off the coast
Yeah.
that is getting close to a big earthquake. How can we actually improve this city? And it's hard to tell if we can because a lot of the city's already been built and
Yeah.
Mhm.
would require taking down a lot first.
Yeah,
So,
and I don't know if you've had a chance to see it. There was a paper that came out either last week or earlier this week. Time no longer has any meaning. That they were looking at sedimentary layers right off of the coast of Seattle at a triple point where the northern boundary of San Andreas, a different boundary point on the Cascadia fault line, and that third fault line all basically come together in one region. And looking at the sedimentary layers, they can tell when there's an earthquake because it actually changes the size of the particles that go into the sedimentary layer. And they found some places that made absolutely no sense because it looked like there was a line and then there was a line flipped upside down. And they were able to figure out that that was when two fault lines both went off in very close spans of time. And it appeared that whenever Cascadia went off, San Andreas went off soon after or soon before. There was a linkage between
mhm.
those two. But whenever San Andreas goes off, it doesn't trigger Cascadia.
Mhm.
Um, and that was terrifying. Just going to lay that out there.
Yeah, that's understandably terrifying.
Mhm.
So of the movies,
Yeah.
which were the worst and which were the best?
All right. I made a ranking system.
Uh-huh.
The genuine worst. Okay. Here's here's the hard part. I put Sharknado as D tier. Here's the tricky part. Um, a good film. I also work in a theater department doing like costuming and whatnot and helping direct Shakespeare plays and whatnot. So I do know some things about film as well. A good film does not mean good science. And this is one of the biggest takeaways is The Day After Tomorrow is a really great film. Phenomenal film. I love watching it, and every time I watch it, it makes me think that the science is good because it's a good film. The science is genuinely terrible. Why are there hurricanes forming over land? I don't know. Why is everything freezing in a matter of seconds? I don't know.
Yeah.
Movie
Climate
magic.
change, yeah, climate change takes more than 2 days to happen, guys.
There's that
Great
whole like,
movie. Yeah.
oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, go ahead.
There's that whole like tension, right, between like scientific accuracy and storytelling, because
Yeah.
like when you say that it's like a good film doesn't necessarily mean good science, the reverse is also true.
Yeah.
That it's like good science doesn't necessarily mean a good film, like
Exactly.
Sharknado.
Yes.
And so there's kind of this tension that exists between scientific accuracy and solid filmmaking, and then you have to kind of find the balance, like what's the middle ground between the two? Because some things that are perfectly scientifically accurate will not look good on screen, will not play well in a
Mhm.
story.
Exactly.
And so you just kind of have to like figure out where you settle between the two.
Yeah, and Pompeii is an excellent example of that. Pompeii has a rating of 28% on Rotten Tomatoes. I feel like
That's so
90% of the reason to watch it is shirtless Kit Harington. Um, it's not a bad reason. The writing is pretty darn bad.
Oh no.
Um, but here's the thing is they actually consulted both scientists and historians who then went to some of the original like first-hand records of observations of the Pompeii eruption.
Oh, that's cool.
And so the actual eruption depiction itself is out of this world. It is so accurate. Phenomenal. The film itself, even the CGI depicting the film, like the eruption, is not great. It's fine. Um, but again, it got 28% on Rotten Tomatoes. But the science is there. That's why I put it in S tier.
Oh, that's so hard.
Yeah, not just for Kit Harington, but for the science.
So I described a book last night on Blue Sky as having science so soft it's mushy. It's a book I truly love, but it is not hard science at all.
For those of us who didn't see your Blue Sky post, what book?
Scavengers, the Scavenger series by Alex White.
Oh,
They're
okay,
currently on
yes.
sale on Amazon. Go buy the books. Alex's writing is amazing, and he has like adultier adults still humaning poorly sometimes.
Yep.
And I deeply appreciate the middle-aged characters awkwardly saving the universe. And and so go check out the books, but it has a consistent magic system instead of a consistent science system, but the way they use the magic is scientifically. And so it really is science fiction, but with a magic system. Therefore, I call it so soft of a science, it's mushy. Um, yeah. Okay, I've now distracted us once again, which seems to be my
This is
theme for the
that's
day.
what I love about like space opera is that it's like it will get sciencey and then other times it's just like whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
Exactly.
and that's that's part of its
That's
charm.
fine. That's fine.
So you also have Don't Look Up, which as an
Yes.
S level. Tell us more.
I loved that
I still haven't
movie.
seen it. I still need to see
Oh my
it.
God, I love it.
You
It's
need to
so
watch it.
dark. It's so
It's
dark and
so
so funny.
the
Just
yeah. The way that I've always described the three main Impact movies. So we have Don't Look Up, Deep Impact, and Armageddon.
Yes.
Um, Armageddon is how, like, is what society thinks would happen during an asteroid
It's
impact.
true.
You'd get Bruce Willis, you'd get um, Ben Affleck and Steve Buscemi question mark
It's always Steve
flying out to an
Buscemi.
asteroid. It's always Steve Buscemi,
He
and it's
was a
always
firefighter.
oh, that's
really.
actually really interesting.
Yeah,
Well,
he was a
yeah.
firefighter at one of the firehouses near the old World Trade Center. And when the
Oh
disaster
wow.
occurred, he went back to his old firehouse and went back to working as a firefighter to support the rescue
Wow.
efforts. Yeah. No,
Okay,
Steve
so
Buscemi is like
Okay.
excellent
oh
human
great,
being.
yeah, he's a real one.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So we do want
Dang.
Steve Buscemi, less
Me too.
certain about Ben Affleck.
Yes. Yeah. And the way that Steve Buscemi is depicted in this film, we don't want that Steve
No,
Buscemi. We
no.
want real Steve Buscemi.
Yes, exactly.
Um, Deep Impact is what scientists hope would happen.
Hmm.
Like, we send a mission for one. It's a manned mission, which is a disaster. I don't know why we're sending manned missions
Yeah.
when we can do it robotically.
Yeah.
Um,
It was the
but we
1990s.
are.
Yeah,
It was.
that's the most frequent question I get when I bring up like Dart to people I
Mhm.
know or like people I'm hanging out with. It just immediately they're like, oh, like Armageddon, and I'm like, no,
No,
no, no, no, no.
no, better.
Yeah,
Yeah, Deep Impact was at least like kind of accurate in the way that like they split the comet in two. I don't know why it's always a comet and not an asteroid. Like we've got a really good
Yeah.
grasp on comets.
yeah.
But they keep
We,
coming out of nowhere.
It's
Like,
probably like more visually interesting, right? Because the asteroid doesn't
yeah,
have that big tail,
yeah, it's just a
and
rock.
well,
yeah,
so
so
here's the
it's
thing.
that's probably it.
This one I actually have feels about, deep feels. Like in December of 2024, when we did our look ahead to the rest of 2025, we asked the question, will there be any good comets in 2025? And the answer, as far as we knew, was no, there shall be none. No comets for you. Currently, there are three green comets out there. They all have carbon. They're all glowing green as the carbon does carbon things. And then we have I3 Atlas, which is currently on the other side of the sun, annoyingly, being observed by Mars spacecraft. Um, we couldn't have predicted this. And this comets like to sneak up on you thing and then become visible to everyone is not something we have so much with the asteroids. Asteroids come out of nowhere, get caught on radar, startle people, occasionally crash into people's driveways, but they don't put on that grand light show that allows the entire planet to know they're there. So I
Yeah,
think it is the showiness of
yeah,
comets coming out of nowhere, while
Mhm.
asteroids only annoy the radar operators.
yeah,
Sorry,
yeah.
hill I
I think
No,
you
whine.
could
you're
probably
good. That's valid.
there's probably a story there, right, of like a radar operator who spots an asteroid and no one else believes him.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
And that's the wild part, though, is like their asteroids do put on such a good show, but it's so last minute. It's like, oh look, there it is. Okay,
yeah.
well that was it. Like this summer, I was so mad. There was my husband was in Atlanta when there was a like massive bolide fireball event over Atlanta,
Oh
and he
wow,
was inside.
that is so sad.
Yeah.
when was that?
It was June 2025,
Okay.
so just a few months ago. Wow, that's more than a few months
None
ago.
of my friends in Atlanta told me about this.
Yeah, it was a big thing.
I completely missed it.
Um, so yeah, deep impact is what scientists hope would happen. Don't look up is what would actually happen.
So tell us more.
Ooh, that's
Essentially, it's it deals mostly with the political aspects of, and like this movie came out in 2020. And so we were dealing with COVID and the wear a mask, don't wear a mask issue at the time.
Yeah.
And so when Don't Look Up came out, it was very much people denying the science of, oh, there is a comet and it's going to come and destroy all of Earth. And that's what the movie was about, was it wasn't necessarily about the comet itself, but a social commentary on people during the COVID pandemic.
Yeah.
And the easiest way to pose it was as, hey, we just found a comet and we have 6 months. How do we deal with this? Um, People in the media wanted scientists to put a positive spin on it and keep it light. It's really hard to keep a comet that's going to destroy all of humanity in 6 months light. Um, Especially as a scientist, not necessarily trained in media and commenting on social things. And that's where the whole idea of Don't Look Up came out, was if you don't look up, you don't see the comet and it doesn't exist.
Right.
It's not coming.
Right.
So probably what would actually happen.
and then
On the
also
flip side,
okay, sorry.
on the flip side, like we do see a lot of like really dramatized headlines in the media these days. Just yesterday, I saw a headline that said Hurricane Priscilla is headed towards Utah.
Wait, what?
And I kid you not, Hurricane Priscilla is headed towards Utah. For all of my Utah friends, the rain that we're experiencing now is not a hurricane. It is just the leftovers from the hurricane that was down south of us on the coast.
Yeah. Yeah. It will be a bit muted by the time it gets to Utah.
It is a bit muted. I didn't even need a rain jacket today. It's gray. We desperately need the rain, so I'm really grateful for it. Sure, there's an increased chance of flash floods. That just happens anytime it rains in Utah.
Mhm.
But like that's the kind of headlines that happen, along with, oh, this asteroid is coming towards Earth, like thinking of the 2032 asteroid that will
Hit the
now
moon. Hit the
there's,
moon.
yeah, it might hit the moon. It's like a 4% chance
YR4.
that it will hit the moon, which is actually pretty high.
Yeah.
4% is
Yeah,
high.
yeah.
I was just reading yesterday that it's even about like a 0.08% chance that any debris from that would hit Earth,
Yeah.
which is still
Cool.
significant.
Awesome.
I know, and I love it.
So it's estimated to be a 50-meter asteroid. And a 50-meter asteroid hitting the moon should create a 1-kilometer crater. And if all of it is lava temporarily, I am working out the math. I didn't finish it yet. And I'm doing this on streams just for our patrons over on patreon.com/CosmoQuestX. I'm working out the math to figure out, will we be able to see it if it's a shadowed region of the moon? Because 1 kilometer is a point source. So the question is, does the thermal luminosity of that lava produce enough photons for it to be magnitude 6 or brighter?
Oh my God, that would be so cool.
It's actual math. I can do the math. I just couldn't do it all in 1 hour is what I learned.
Yeah, that's fair. I think because even as the impact is happening,
Uh-huh.
if we're looking at it, which we probably will be,
Yeah.
we should briefly be able to see it. Just
And
because like that
so we
little bit of
see,
lava is going to be thrown out a
well,
little bit wider than the 1 kilometer too.
there's two different things. So there's the energy of impact, which we will definitely see. We see flashes
Mhm.
on the moon all the
Mhm.
time caused by meteor strikes. Um, but then after that initial flash of impact, there's going to be lava for however much longer of a period of time. And so then that becomes thermal radiation. And yeah, so we will definitely see something if it hits. We have a question coming in. Um, with the 4% chance of hitting the moon, why is the potential error there? One might think that variables aren't changing in orbital mechanics, so why the error? Why don't we know this exactly? I guess is the question. If you need me to take this on, I
It
can.
there's a lot. We do know a lot about orbital mechanics.
Yeah.
Um, Models do vary to some degree. And so we can continually model what we expect to happen. That being said, there are always a lot of unknowns out there. Um, there there's debris that we can't see
Yeah.
that can bump into it and kind of vary the course a little bit. There's just our human error in our calculations. There's the fact that the moon is actually a fairly small target in the grand scheme of space.
And
Um,
there's all the observational errors. That's the real big issue. Is
mhm,
this is a tiny object and we aren't able to see precisely where it's going. So if you can imagine you have a fuzzy point out of focus because atmosphere is the real reason. You can fit multiple lines through that set of fuzzy points. And so because multiple lines can fit through that set of fuzzed out points where you don't know exactly where in the fuzz the asteroid is, that creates one source of error. Then there's the stuff in space can move it. There's the it might have volatiles, ices, things like that that cause it to move, depending on its rotation rate and how shiny it is. The sun's light pressure can literally move it. So, without knowing exactly its size, exactly its rotation, exactly how much it reflects light, and what else it might encounter specifically along its route, all these things add up to there's a 4% chance that it hits the moon. Um, and I'm team please hit the moon because that would be an amazing research project that I don't think anyone is going to allow us to do otherwise.
Mhm.
There's so much physics involved in how craters are formed that is still being learned. And mostly we're
mhm.
trying to learn it with mapping projects like our lunar melt project over on mappers.psi.edu. Um, yeah, I am definitely team please hit the moon. Please hit the
Same.
moon. And we all need a good meteor shower. So,
We
Yes.
do. We
Love a good
do.
meteor shower.
so
Exactly.
we are running out of time. We have run out of
Mhm.
time. I thank you for your grace in staying late.
Of course.
Um, it- what movies do you recommend people watch for the joy and for the hate and for the science?
Twister is great for the science. Honestly, anything in the S tier, so don't look up. Don't look up is just an educational. Pamela, you need to watch Don't Look Up.
Yeah, you do. You do.
You
I
really do.
during the pandemic, I just could not during the pandemic, and then I forgot
That's
it exists.
understandable,
So
but
yes,
you need to watch it now.
We
all
can
right,
watch it
Um,
when I fly out for Hangout-a-thon.
that works. That works.
yes. We can do even like Don't Look Up marathon stream or
I
something.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, that's a phenomenal one. Like S tier's phenomenal.
What do you watch just so you can yell at the television screen?
Twisters. Hands down Twisters. Um, that one I did not stop screaming at the television. Also Volcano.
Oh,
You walk away from a lava flow like that. It's oozing. You just walk away. Come on, guys.
It's true.
It's
It's true.
not that hard. Also, why are we forming volcanoes in sedimentary rock?
That one you need to explain because I have to go. My brain just went, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know why. I genuinely don't know why, but volcano forms under the La Brea tar pits. Tar pits are typically a sedimentary rock. It's
I forgot it
essentially
started in the tar pits.
Oh,
it
man.
starts in the tar pits. Um, yeah, it's sedimentary rock. It's just layers of carbonaceous decaying material, and yet it erupts. And not even an exciting eruption, it's like just the oozy shield volcano lava dome style where it's a slow moving ooze. And they stand in front of it the entire time panicking when they could just walk away. I don't know. Um,
And what do you watch just so you can laugh at
Sharknado, of course.
it?
And it's Sharknado is so bad story-wise,
And
so
so much
bad
fun.
graphically, but it's so good. Another one, the 1974 earthquake movie, which I give a lot of grace in my analysis because it was from 1974.
Uh-huh.
They didn't have the same infrastructure in LA, but this movie actually won a lot of Academy Awards for its sound system, which was quite revolutionary at the time. It used something called sensu sound, which in the theaters vibrated the entire theater,
Oh, that's
which
cool.
hadn't been experienced before. And so people thought that there was an actual
Oh,
earthquake
no.
happening while watching the movie. Um, it makes it like it just historically from a film aspect
Yep.
really interesting to watch. Graphically terrible.
That
Yeah.
that
Of
is all amazing. We do need to switch over to
course.
talking about 911, a TV show. Um, it's been amazing having you on, Jenny. And if all goes well, we can look forward to seeing more of Jenny during Hangoutathon and
Yeah.
beyond.
Yes, definitely.
And you can find her as actually Dr. Marvel, and we have a QR code up on screen. Um, it has really been a pleasure. And do you have any parting words before we go?
I mean, thanks for letting me come through and talk about what two of my loves, disasters and films. I will always be around to talk about disasters and films any day.
That
So
that works.
Yeah, we need to chat more.
we
Yeah.
do. We
Yeah,
really
yeah.
do. But yeah, thank you all.
So, thank you everyone for being here. And to those of you watching live, don't go away. We are going to switch over to hour 2 on YouTube and blink the Twitch stream. And we will be back in just a moment, bringing you more bad but awesome science in TV and film. Thank you, everyone. And if you want to be updated on everything we do, check out patreon.com/CosmoQuestX.